Hey everybody, NFT fans, welcome back to the NIFTSY Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene, aka MC. We explore the NFT space, separate the essence from hype, and try to realize the potential of NFTs to change the world. Today, I'm so happy to be joined by Vladimir Tomko. He's a blockchain gaming industry professional, the founder and CEO of Blockchain Cuties. It's the cutest blockchain adventure collectible game with puppies, dragons, beer cups, cats, and other real and fantasy creatures alike. Vladimir, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, and happy to be a part of this great movement that you've been leading for probably several years right now. And I'm happy that you've joined the NFT space in particular, and you've been educating people, you've been separating reality from the hype. And this is very important because like you've been around for many ups and downs, and you know that it's not like forever up. There are going to be downs as well. And it's a good thing to prepare people to make them better understand what's happening and what should they await for in the near future.
Awesome. Our main goal today is to study how blockchain influences and NFT will inevitably revolutionize gaming industry. But before we start, I would like to ask you to tell our listeners the brief story. How did you get into the blockchain space?
Okay, I've been around in blockchain space since late 2016, and before that, for about like 14 years, I've been in game development, in indie game development, in big studio game development. I was also working at social networks from the gaming platform things side of things, and well, at that point, I've seen that four different markets, gaming markets, were being born. And when crypto games launched with CryptoKitties, it wasn't the first crypto game, but it was the one that basically got most traction and it created the market. So we decided that it's a great time to jump in because crypto markets, not crypto markets, gaming markets, they evolve in a very similar pattern. It's very similar problems at the very beginning. There are similar solutions to them. And if you know that, it's easier to survive, even if you don't have like a lot of money. So we decided to jump in and we released the game in April 2018. And we are like 3.5 years on the market right now. We've seen a lot of stuff. We've seen a lot of trends. We did so many mistakes that I think that it's our like strong side at the moment because we know by practice what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And we are actually one of the very few surviving games of the first wave of crypto games that came out after CryptoKitties. And we're still here. We're developing the product. We are created basically the multi-blockchain gaming movement in the first place. And we're hoping to be able to amaze our audience and attract new users to the blockchain gaming industry.
Well, thank you. It's always good to start with definitions. What are we talking about? How do you usually explain for non-crypto people, if you met such a people in your life, what is NFTs?
Well, it's basically something that is very unique. I usually describe when I describe it, I take example of $100 kupure, and they're like all of them are of the same nominal. But if you take pen and pencil and draw like some glasses, mustaches, that particular one becomes very unique. It's still $100 kupure, but it's yours. It has mustaches, it has glasses, and that's why it's unique, particular to you. Similar thing happens in blockchain. So basically, those are assets that have a strict set of properties, but those properties are completely unique and they belong to the person who holds it.
Okay, the blockchain as a technology has been changing gaming in recent decade, I think. How specifically this technology has been changing game? May you explain?
Sure, but it hasn't been actually changing it in a big way. Everybody was like hoping it would since the inception of the crypto games market. But the path it shows is pretty slow one. So I think we are only right now scratching the doors of mass adoption. So it does change the gaming a lot in terms of concept because in regular games we see closed ecosystems that are totally controlled by developer, and you even when you pay like real money, you sign the end user license agreement where it is stated that all the assets, all like everything that you've been gathering in game, your account belongs to developer. And if you like misbehave, they can ban you, and basically you have a situation where you've spent a lot of money for nothing. And the real like profitable thing that you get from playing regular games is that you get fun, you get emotions. In blockchain gaming, you own your assets, at least important ones. And if you spend money on them, they belong to you, and developers usually can't do anything with them. There are some issues when smart contracts are written in such a way that they can take the assets away from you, but it is considered bad mannered. So normal crypto games, they don't allow that. And when you, for example, want to cash out or you want to jump to another game, you have like sort of semi-liquid asset that you can try to sell either on the in-game market or try to go to a third-party markets like OpenSea, for example. If those are like not gaming assets, but just collectibles, there are many marketplaces around, like Variable, for example, and try to sell it there. And if you're lucky enough, if your assets are like really rare, then you'll be able to make at least a portion of your investment back. But if the product that you're engaging with is very popular, if it's like doing the hype train, then you usually can do a lot more. You can make access out of your initial investment. So that thing puts the player on the same level as developer, because now players really influence by paying into the game how the game develops. And developer has to understand that when they're doing a blockchain game, they're not controlling the market totally. It's not a closed ecosystem. It's a system of markets that connect and communicate with the bigger crypto markets, and it all influences your game. So it's very challenging, very hard at the same time, but it creates a stronger bond between your audience and between you as a developer, because you actually co-create the product. The feedback that players provide is usually more important because they tend to perceive your game as a means of making money if your game is sort of popular and profitable. And when they do that, the emotions are also like profit driven. They want you to succeed. They want you to gain more audience so that the market becomes bigger and they can make more money by playing that. And they play the game all the time because it is possible to make money. This is, in terms of concept, is very new to gaming and to entertainment industry, but it happens in all the world, like all around us. If you buy a car, you can resell it. In regular games, sorry, you can't. This car belongs to Mercedes, for example. And this shift is going to happen because the promises of effectiveness that it provides to the industry are on par with like when people were used to trade using horses and carts, and somebody was like moving coal using trains. So the effectiveness is this big, and people will definitely like to have a chance of getting some of the money back when they play your product instead of just receiving pure emotions.
Oh, cool. Maybe the answer on my next question is quite obvious, but nevertheless, tell us why non-fungible tokens have become so useful, especially in gaming industry.
Because they are totally unique, and because of the fact that they can hold a lot of information, including history of what's happening to them, who own them. They also become more valuable and more unique with the course of time, and that alone creates an objectified way of bringing like subjective things. So, for example, if you played, I don't know, Diablo 2 and got a sword and you went first act for it only you know the history of this word and its like true meaning, the sentimental meaning for yourself. For everybody else, it's just a sword. They can't like check whether what you're saying is true. With NFTs, you technically can, but not all the games are implementing it into their NFTs. But this thing, it basically creates this encapsulation of subjective value to the asset in global technical terms. But otherwise, it's cool that it is sort of on blockchain. Everybody can track its history, and everybody can create something, and they can exchange it because underlying is basically a standard, either ERC 71 or ERC 1155 or similar standards on other blockchains. And that creates a common ground for people to exchange those assets. And everybody jumped into the race of creating something cool and unique, often without any utility or purpose.
Well, the general model of gaming has been recent years pay-to-win model. Gamers were buying different stuff, different items to win more results. Now, this model is being changed by play-to-earn model due to blockchain. May you explain why? What is the play-to-earn model? Why it exists due to blockchain, and how it's specifically replacing pay-to-win model right now in the game?
Pay to win is very easy to explain. It just majority of games became free since middle of 2000s, and for people to gain emotions, to gain traction, to defeat everybody, they created like a thing like microtransactions where you can basically try not to spend as much time as you would otherwise have to, and buy your progress, buy your dominance. And some guys who succeed in the real world, for example, bankers and like other financial guys that were playing games as child, they actually like to do it even when they're grown up, and they don't like care if they spend like $200, $500 in a game. They care for emotions, they care for the ability to dominate. And people see, game developers saw that it works, and it became massively popular. And then in addition, it was also sort of dissolved a bit with the ad revenue model, where you can pay, or if you don't have money to pay, you can make advertisers pay for you if you watch their ads. Play to earn is different in that regard, that your either time or your money that you put into the game with a high risk of never seeing your money again actually can bring, if you do everything correctly, positive return on your investment. And there are two general ways how it's done and some hybrid ways. So in all the games, there are two types of economies. One is zero-sum game, when there is so much money in the market that all the players of the market put into it. And it doesn't grow like just by itself. It only grows when new money are put into the market. And if you play against like other players better, you're able to take bigger portions of that money from that pool. The good examples here are like CryptoKitties at the very first year of their existence, because you could only buy kitties, you can breed them, but everything costed money. Then there are games where your time input translates into value, and value translates into money. Those are economies that basically lose value over time if you don't put any mechanisms that somehow devour the excess value and try to make the assets that the game produce valuable. And that is a lot easier for people to jump in and to try to make money. But because everything devalues in that economy, people who do it faster and smarter also wins. And there is like hybrid ways of this monetization, where something is fully paid, some parts of the game are accepting time as payments, and when it is specifically connected with the outer markets. For example, if your game has tokens, and tokens are traded on at least like on Uniswap or on some bigger exchanges, and they are perceivedly connected with the success of you as a company. So they're not shares of your company, but people who trade crypto, they do like somewhat count it. At least they understand that the mechanics beneath it are similar. If you're successful, the price of token raises. And when that's happening and you as a game provide people with tokens when they play the game, you basically create a true play to earn, because they input their time, they try to make your game more popular, and you pay them with tokens, and they sell the tokens at the market and get liquid crypto that is translated to fiat currencies for those who really need that. And that is very, very revolutionary in that regard, that basically gaming becomes sort of a job, like not like a pro gamer where you need to be part of the team and participate in tournaments, but you can just translate your time, your things that you like into something valuable. And right now there are like leading countries that are doing that. Those are Philippines and Venezuela, because the global like poverty level is pretty big in those countries, but the internet access is very huge, and crypto is very popular there, and they're playing these games. We have like a lot of Venezuelan people in Blockchain Cuties, but the big like elephant in the room is Axie Infinity, that are trying to make like a play to earn nation out of their game, and they have like huge audience from Philippines and Vietnam, and people are basically pivoting from their normal work into playing Axie Infinity. And their token grows because their daily active users grows in value, and people receive those tokens and they sell it to other people. Everybody's happy.
Well, gotta. That's really revolutionary. That's very famous case of Axie Infinity in the Philippines. Cool. That's a new world of play to earn model. By the way, let's go back to the blockchain cuties specifically. How are NFTs specifically being used in the blockchain cuties game?
Well, we have two major ways how they're being used. One is breeding. So each NFT has 64 gene sequence, and those genes basically constitute how your cutie would look like. And when you are able to connect specific genes in a row, it creates a small short sequence which generates an attribute. An attribute by itself, despite bringing the influence on how the cutie looks, also provides different stats, and those stats are valuable in combat. And the whole blockchain cuties like world consists of a lot of different locations where you can send your cuties, where they fight each other, and the ones who win, they get a chance of getting items. And thus we have two big like economies. One is NFT based cuties, and the other one is item based. Items are not NFTs, but they transact through the blockchain. So whenever you sell it to somebody or buy it, the transaction goes through the blockchain. And because we have 5 blockchains in our game, there are a lot of arbitrage opportunities for people who play on different blockchains to try and sell the things that are abundant in one blockchain but are absent in another one. So the NFTs in general provide ability to explore, to dive deep into the genomics of our game and try to breed out very unique looking cuties that are powerful. And the other one is they create like an economical engine of yourself. It increases your capability to bring in the items, to burn the items, and to participate in a game economy on a global scale. That's like, if to put it technically, those are two ways that we use NFTs right now.
Cool. But for looking on the whole picture, we should inevitably go beyond gaming, using NFTs in gaming. Lester, how do you see the potential use cases of NFTs in other businesses and whole life?
I think that this like whole market is definitely untapped. There are many possibilities of how to use them, and maybe they're not going to be called NFTs, but going to be a derivative products out of NFTs. But I think that in the not so long future, they're going to be used for like personal advertiser IDs that you can grant access or not grant to specific advertisers. For example, if somebody wants to show you ads, you can store all the information, all your interests in an NFT that is like sort of totally controlled by you and is anonymous. But when you open access, they can see it and use it to target your ads. I think it's going to be used in the identity department. So passports, ID cards can be duplicated to NFTs because they're unique and they definitely solve this case. We already seen that insurance is being issued as an NFT. Well, basically everything that needs to be unique and probable in the real world, all those use cases are going to be in some way or another used by NFT or any derivative technology.
Cool, totally agree with you. Everything should be tokenized, will be tokenized, inevitable in the world of business. Well, thank you very much, Vladimir, for your vision of NFTs. It's always a pleasure to talk to you regarding gaming, not gaming. By the way, greetings for Andrew Sharonevich and his brilliant CGC team. They have done 2 great conferences about NFTs in 2021, and they are preparing the 3rd conference. That's the insight. But I think we may say about that in September, the CGC Online 3rd conference of 2021. Great brilliant speakers. I hope.
I usually go at CGC conference. Mostly, I actually missed only the last one, but we had very sort of hard times within the team. So we had like a relocation to a new office. There was a lot of things we needed to do, and I wasn't able to participate. I was like really busy. But besides that, Crypto Gaming Conference, as it was called at the very beginning, is very dear to my heart. I was participating practically from the very first one, and I really like the organization. I like people who do it and the philosophy behind it. And I definitely believe that it's going to be a bigger market in the few years, and we need to at least be able to survive up until that when it's going to explode. As of right now, I don't know about the market, like the crypto market and NFT market, like in general, how soon, well, not how soon, but for how long is going to be booming right now. Because as you see in like when China banned Bitcoin mining, it did drop a lot of in prices, and NFTs were plummeting as well. But when during that sort of unstable market, Axie Infinity was able to get 300 people, daily active users playing the game, a particular section of the market, NFTs and blockchain gaming, started to grow. And this is like very unique, very interesting. Hopefully, we will be able to see these trends like at least up until late autumn. But in crypto, nobody knows when things like change drastically. So for those guys who want to jump into blockchain gaming, into NFT, you should also think about that you need to prepare yourself if you want to be in the market for a long time for those kinds of events, because they do happen 100%. They will happen. They always happen. You just need to prepare for that. And I would like to see more and more like companies and people who dive into this space to survive the next crypto winter. Because if you remember, Evgeny, when people started making the Crypto Cuties clones, there were like 5,000 of companies around that, a lot of different products, and they didn't survive because they didn't think about that. And these things happen, so you also need to try and carve out your long-term play strategy if you're jumping into the space.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the NIFTSY Podcast. It is supported by the NIFTSY protocol. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button for not missing the future episodes. Vladimir Tomko from Blockchain Cuties and Eugene, aka MC, were with you. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episodes.
Thanks, guys. Bye.